Hi, welcome to First to Third. My name is Matt, also known as Admin. This week I've got Michaela in DC,
Hello.
and we've also got Brett and Derek from the Bayou Ball Busters down in Baton Rouge. What's up, guys?
How's it going?
It's good. Getting ready for the Lone Star Kickball Open this weekend.
What's that?
I said we're just getting ready for the Austin tournament this weekend. You guys looking forward to heading down there?
Very much looking forward to it, man.
Nice. Looking forward to it. Well, thanks for joining us. Like I mentioned, this week we've got the Lone Star Kickball Open. It's Saturday. Starts at 9 o'clock. 21 teams are competing. 8 will advance. We'll have 4 rounds of pool play. All the details are posted online. We'll also have some information posted in front of you in a few minutes. But before we do anything, we are going to be breaking into doing the pool play draw. And for those of you trying to track this at home, if you go to scoreboard365.com, you will be able to track this with us live. No more drama, no more confusion. You'll be able to do it, I promise. As I say that, of course, we have something not working on my end. But we're good. We're good there. Guys, this is your first event since the Circuit Cup Championship. What are you guys looking forward to the most?
Just getting back playing, man. We saw it at a faster pace than we usually see it, and to be honest, we're not used to bunting that much and struggled a little bit there in the Circuit Cup. We got a little work on that, and I guess just looking forward to getting another shot at it. Unfortunately, about half the team or more is out. I've got a bunch of new guys coming in, so I would like to say that we have a little bit more experience coming in from the Circuit Cup, but we'll have a bunch of newbies again, and we'll see how it goes.
Very cool. Is that your team in the background I see over your shoulder?
Yeah, that was last year's picture from Circuit Cup.
Very cool. Now, how many folks are you guys rolling with?
What's that?
How many
We'll
players?
have 15 in this event.
Typically seems to be the best number folks bring. Are you doing 10 and 5?
No, we actually only have 4 females on the roster this go round.
Don't get hurt, right, Michaela?
Yes, don't get hurt. Also, have the girls played Circuit before? Are any of the girls newbies?
Just one of the 4 is not returning from last year's team.
Okay, that's good. That's a good ratio to have, for sure, especially with no subs. But yeah, don't get hurt. Bring lots of water and lots of extra socks so you don't get blisters.
So let's go ahead and get this thing started. Adrock was with us. If you see him right now, he's frozen. I don't even know if YouTube would show it. Somehow he dropped
Well,
off
that's
the
a great
call.
shot of him right there.
I know.
We should leave it that way.
We see it live right now, but so if you're at home, scoreboard365.com. We've got a few viewers right now. We've also got the Q&A set up, so if you have questions, post your questions to the chat within the YouTube app, and then we will get to those right after we get through the pool play. So if you're tracking this at home, the first thing we always got to do is walk through the open teams. But before we do that, we're going to walk through the official team list. Here's what I'll do. I'll go through the teams, and if you guys have any commentary or things you're looking forward to see out of this team, or if you've heard a lot of things, or if you watched a lot of video, I'd love your thoughts on it. So the rankings for the Lone Star Kickball Open, again, starting at the top, we have 17 teams who we consider teams, officially established teams or provisional teams, where we've seen them before. They've been to a circuit event, at least one. They've played. We have data on them, so we can actually give them a ranking. And then we have 4 teams that we consider open teams. Open teams are teams that we've never seen before. It doesn't mean they haven't been playing the game for a while, but we basically treat them as open teams, and we rank them at the bottom of the pile until they prove it on the field. So starting at the top, I'll go through the first 5. We have JKI out of Florida. We've got Lights Out out of Pennsylvania. Sofa King out of California. OSC out of DC with Michaela and I, and Relax and Lock It Up out of Texas and New York. Of those 5 teams, guys, who are you looking forward to watching the most?
I'd actually like to get a shot at playing either JKI, Lights Out, or OSC. I've seen a lot of video on them. Matt, obviously you play for them, so I know you guys are pretty good. It's definitely different seeing it real time than on video, so it'd be interesting to see some of those teams in action. JKI's got a great third baseman. I'd like to see his speed in real time. And one of the games I watched quite a bit at length was JKI versus Lights Out in that tiebreaker. And
nice.
So that was a good game between the two of them. It's a shame it came to the end that way.
Yeah.
Michaela speaks from experience. It still hurts.
Seen that
Are you on one of those teams?
We had some guys playing on the Lights Out game, but yeah, it's tough that ending the game that way. But you know, the rules are there for a reason, so kind of just have to deal with it. I'm looking forward to seeing JKI play, just because I know they picked up some of the Showerhammer guys, so that should be a really good add for them.
Very much so. All right, so let's continue down the list. Starting with number 6, we have an availables team with the name Team with Amazing Talent. You can put the acronym together on your own. Danny Balls out of Louisiana struggled at their last circuit event. Hopefully they're bringing a more solid team. I say that, and Brett, I think you pitched for them last event.
They cut the fat for this trip. They should be good.
Is that because they cut you for being on the team?
They cut the fat.
And so we've also got sorry, I'm getting text messages from Ronnie Tuttle. Yes, the podcast is live, Ronnie. The Gargoyles coming in at number 8, a California team, again making a trip out Midwest. Gorilla Juiceheads at number 9, and Loose Cannons, another availables team, coming in at number 10. The number 11 spot, actually, do you guys have any comments on those teams?
Don't know much about Loose Cannons. If anybody can elaborate on that, I'd be curious to know what they have or what they're about. Saw a couple videos on Gargoyles. Gorilla Juiceheads, Derek, you were saying?
Gargoyles are pretty good offensively, but I saw they struggled defensively, but very good offensively. Team with Amazing Talent, that's another availables team, so that's probably a toss-up of who they have, just like Loose Cannons.
Yeah, and then Danny Balls, I would hesitate to elaborate too much on what they got because I got a chance to play with them, but definitely on paper it looks like they're bringing a better team than they brought to Georgia Kickball Open. I think a few of their heavy hitters are not coming that were there at Georgia, but I think they'll be a little better this go around for sure.
They got better defensively.
Yeah, they're always tough to play. I've played them OSC and I played them down in Atlanta with Cobra Kai, and they're always a tough game to play. They've got it down, and it's just mistakes.
Yeah, very very good defensively. We did have one game in Georgia where we struggled defensively, and that's the one that hurt us. I think in full play we'd have had a much better draw. Mm-hmm. But outside of that, they played lights out on defense the whole day.
Well, very cool. Let's continue through. Number 11, we'll spot you 10 out of Texas. Number 12, those guys out of Texas. Mixed Nuts out of Texas. Smokin' Bunts out of Texas. And then number 15, the Bayou Ball Busters.
Way underrated, Bayou Ball Busters. Feels ridiculous.
We'll see.
Well, it should be good with that ranking. You guys are in bin number 3, which means obviously you can be in any of the pools that we've got. So should be interesting. Finishing off the top 21, Cleverly Disguised as Adults from Texas, Sexy Mama out of Florida, and then we've got the 4 open teams for this event. And those 4 open teams: Fresh out of Texas, Grass Clowns from Clowntown out of Texas, Loco for Fireball. Thank you, Fireball Whiskey, as always. And then Red Balls and Vodka is the last and final open team. So let's get this thing started, shall we?
Sounds good.
We're going to do what we always do. For those of you, again, if you're just tuning in, scoreboard365.com. Usually I have it on the bottom of the screen. It's not working at the moment. You go there and you click the second tab. You can do full play draw, and we're going to update this live so you can actually track this at home. So the 4 teams we've got for the open bin draw, as Adrock is complaining that his thing does not work. The
You're gonna
first
miss a chance to take his shirt off this time.
the first one is the Grass Clowns from Clown Town. They're going to be the first team that goes in. The second one is the Red Balls and Vodka team. And then the third one is Loco for Fireball. I don't know if you can read that. Loco for Fireball.
Oh, they're drawing the scene.
Yeah, so right now, and then the last one of the two actually would just be the final, would be Fresh. So with the open teams drawn, we now have all of the bins set up. So the top seeds, this is the way it works. The top seeds, we have the 4 top seeds. They don't go into a bin because we have 4 pools. JKI is the number 1 seed. They're in Pool A. Lights Out is in Pool B. Sofa King Good is in Pool C as the number 3 seed. And OSC, Michaela, you guys are in the 4th pool as the 4th seed. So with those teams all put together and in place, what we will do is we'll pull bin 1, then we'll pull bin 2, 3, 4, etc., and we will pull out these teams. So we're going to start with bin 1, Relax and Lock It Up, Team with Amazing Talent, Oh Danny Balls, and the Gargoyles. And you'll be able to fall and see where this goes. So the first bin is Relax and Lock It Up. Ooh, yeah. What in the heck does that mean? All right, folks. Relax and Lock It Up is the first pick out of bin 1, which means they're going to be in Pool A. Oops.
Look out. What
I'll get it to work. What's up?
What players is Team with Amazing Talent pulling from?
That was my question too.
So you asked me that. I don't have the rosters in front of me. I believe it was a lot of folks from Meatballs.
Okay.
I'll pull it up actually.
So I know that a bunch of, well, I'd heard that a bunch of Meatballs players were going and mixing it up with other teams, but I wasn't sure which Availables team they were.
Yeah, let me pull it up right here actually. That would be relevant to discuss.
Meatball situation, possibly?
I wouldn't be surprised. I mean, hold on one second. We'll figure it out. So here we go. They've got 17 players. They've got folks. So Tim McNugget is going to be running the team, as at least as he's on here as a captain. We have Brickford, so a lot of Flying V folks. We have Chaz, a couple Meatballs.
That makes sense.
Arno, a couple folks from out west. Worley, a Meatball. I forget who Steven is. He's played with Team with Amazing Talent in Flying V. Graham Duff is a Flying V guy. So it looks like a collection of just
good kickball players. Okay.
Yeah, they're
that's the team that I was the Availables team to really watch, in my opinion.
Yeah, definitely. All right, so Relax and Lock It Up goes in my first one.
Yes.
All right, so make sure my my bins are going where they're supposed to be, or everyone's having ape shit.
Yes. I'll try and help you keep it in line. I'll do my best.
All right, bin number 1, the second one we're pulling is ODB. So ODB is going to go in the lights out pool. The third team we're drawing out of bin 1 is Team with Amazing Talent. So they're going to be in the Sofa King pool. That's already going to be a wonderful pool.
Yeah.
To say the least. And then last but not least, in the 4th for bin 1 is the Gargoyles. So the Gargoyles will be facing off against OSC. How you feel about that one?
Me?
Yeah, you.
I mean, I don't know. I don't want to disrespect anybody, but all of those teams are tough to play against. That's I don't know. I think we might have gotten away with one with that draw without hurting anybody's feelings. I don't know. Availables teams always make me a little bit nervous.
Sounds like if you missed on team TWAT. All right.
All right, so let's continue this. And just for those of you keeping at home, Adrock has said JKI better be prepared to get destroyed by Relax and Lock It Up. So it has begun. Next, we're going to do bin 2.
Okay.
Starting with, let's see, we got 4 things. So in Pool A, bin 2, Gorilla Juice Heads. Number 1.
I was going to say JKI.
Yep, so Gorilla Juice Heads, Relax and Lock It Up, and JKI. The next one is Loose Cannons. So they're going to go in Lights Out. The third one is We'll Spot You 10. So bin 2, We'll Spot You 10 out of Texas. So they're going to be with Sofa King and Team with Amazing Talent. And then that leaves
Those guys.
those guys going
These
in.
guys.
Those guys.
Those guys. Those guys or these guys?
Those guys.
I don't know anything about those guys.
I don't either. I have no idea. So, what are you guys thinking so far? If you're looking at this at the bins,
We need to pull it up live. Go to scoreboard.
scoreboard365.com. So for the 11 of you watching live right now, remember we've got a questions. As the pools get populated, you can ask questions. We'll get to them as soon as we get started with the final draw, and then we'll get to that. So right now, with bins 3 and 4 left, and remember the open teams are included in that, we're going to pull next bin 3, which our guys across the room are anxiously awaiting. We have Smokin' Bunts, Mixed Nuts, Cleverly Disguised, and Bayou Ball Busters. Are you guys ready?
Let's do it.
Your camera on you guys. And then the first one is Smokin' Bunts.
Good for them.
Well put.
The Smokin' Bunts out of Texas will be facing off against JKI, Relax, Lock It Up, and Gorilla Juice Heads. The next one is Cleverly Disguised as Adults. We'll go in Pool B. How you guys feeling?
Got 2 left. It's got to be one or the other.
We're going to go next, I'm sure.
Where do you guys want to go?
We just want to play, man.
Yeah.
You'll take whatever, right?
Take what you give us.
All right. The next one we've got Mixed Nuts. I think you guys might be facing off against one another.
So, Michaela, that put us against each other.
Yes,
Yeah.
we are.
We'll take it.
So
I didn't think OSC was very good. The guy Matt plays for them, I hear.
That admin kid.
when I'm not retired and raising newborns.
Aw.
Which the little guy.
Congratulations, by the way, Matt.
Thank you, I appreciate that. So yeah, Bayou Ball Busters, bin 3, final one.
So these guys are in with those guys.
Yes.
Yeah. That is what we got. And then, last but not least, Sexy Mama was the last team that was not a open team. So they'll be in the pool with Red Balls, Loco for Fireball. Where's Fresh? Oh, Fresh is automatically, because they're the last pick, Fresh got put in with Pool D. Bayou Ball Busters, you guys will see Fresh. No one else will. OSC, I do not think you guys see Fresh. Yeah, 1 and 6 don't play with one of them.
So
That makes sense.
So the pool D drew the 15 or the 16.
Yeah, so you won't play those guys.
So these guys don't get to play those guys.
Correct.
It's fun.
So, and for those of you tracking it at home, these guys will play that girl at.
Not those guys.
Let's see how confusing we can get it for everyone.
Two of you guys will face off at 10:05 on Saturday morning, so get excited.
Whoop, whoop.
So we'll finish off the bin
that the first
4.
game?
No, the first game's at 9 a.m.
Okay.
Sexy Mama is bin 4, team 1. So Sexy Mama goes into pool A.
Okay.
So there's Sexy Mama. The next one is Red Balls and Vodka. They are going over to pool B. And they are from Texas. Sweet. So that means pool B's got Lights Out, O'Danny Balls, Loose Cannons, Cleverly Disguised as Adults, and then Red Balls and Vodka. Then we have the Grass Clowns from Clowntown going into pool C. Hold on, I have to type out a really long Grass Clowns from Clowntown. And then last but not least, Loco for Fireball will be dropping in over here.
Okay.
So after we're getting better at this, aren't we?
Yes.
Much better. So your pools for the Lone Star Kickball Open. Let's go through it, and I'll love your thoughts after I read each pool. But let me go through all of them first. Pool A, JKI, Relax and Lock It Up, the Gorilla Juice Heads, Smoke and Bunts out of Texas, and Sexy Mama out of Florida. Pool B, Lights Out out of Pennsylvania, O'Danny Balls out of Louisiana, the Loose Cannons, and Cleverly Disguised as Adults, along with the Red Balls and Vodka. Not vodka. Vodka. Pool C, we have Sofa King Good, Team with Amazing Talent, We'll Spot You 10, Mixed Nuts, Grass Clowns from Clowntown. And then in Pool D, the one pool with 6 teams, unfortunately, but doesn't matter. OSC, the Gargoyles, Those Guys, the Bayou Ball Busters, Loco for Fireball, and Fresh. Going to be a phenomenal tournament. So you guys are probably looking at your schedule right now. Bayou Ball Busters, you start the morning off with the Gargoyles, a phenomenal team. They've already been to 2 events this year. They definitely had the experience. I have no idea how many people they're bringing to this event. They have come to a couple events with very thin rosters. I'm trying to pull it up right now if it would behave. Here we go.
Well, thin roster in game 1 doesn't help us much, Matt. You got to give us that game in game 4.
That's game 4 we need.
That is true. So they're bringing 15. So Steven and Cora, Steven, who actually runs our events out in California and San Diego and Best of the West, that'll be a tough game. Second game of the morning, you've got OSC.
Not worried about that one at all.
Not at all.
Go ahead and get those 2 out of the way.
I wouldn't be.
Depends on who's pitching for us. And then in the third game, we've got Those Guys, or excuse me, that's who OSC plays. You guys are playing Loco for Fireball out of Texas on Field 9. And then at 12:15, you guys are going to be playing Fresh out of Texas. So your bye comes at the end of the day at 1:20. So it's pretty good for you. Not a bad schedule.
No, not bad. It's a little loaded in the front and on the back end. Not to disrespect any teams, but obviously the ranking shows what it shows. But we'll definitely get to test our skills in the first 2, and hopefully have made some adjustments by the next 2, and maybe we can come out of there with a couple wins and make the top 8. What would you say, Matt? At the very worst, you could sneak into the top 8. You'd have to be 2-1-1, huh?
Oh, so
I would doubt you'd get in with 2-2.
Only taking 8 teams, again, due to field limitations. They won't let us start before 9 a.m. I don't know why, but it's Texas. The lights are not available or they're not working.
Sun doesn't come up in Texas at the same time as everywhere else, or what?
I don't know. Unfortunately, the event manager and his team, this event has always been 20-21 teams, and the park we got is Phenomenal Park, and we didn't want to risk the event not finishing on time. That would be worse. So last year we had 20 teams and 8 advanced. This year you add 1 extra team and 8.
John sent out an email to the captains. It was very well written. It was very well explained, and it's tough because you're going to miss out. A lot of teams are going to miss out on the extra game, but that's the way it is. If you want to win it, you got to win it.
Yeah, and to us, I mean, yes, we do. We're turning this company and these events into professional kickball events. We want the best to come out, but we also want to recognize that the Middletown is where the future of the circuit lies, and we want to see some of those teams that are just on the cusp to advance. This one, if some of those teams, so if you go 3-1, so 4-0 teams, there will be a couple 4-0 teams. I think JKI relax and lock it up. One of those teams will go 4-0 in Pool A. In Pool B, this is my personal opinion, not the company's. Pool B, Lights Out, O'Danny Balls, Loose Cannons. I think Lights Out is bringing a pretty good crew. O'Danny Balls, you know, they might have a solid team that, you know, they returned to Circuit Cup form when they surprised everybody a year or two ago. 3-1 will get you out of that pool.
Yep.
But remember, we take the top 8 no matter what. We don't take the top 2 from each pool.
Right.
But I think if you go 3-1, your run ratio better be pretty thin. You should not score much and then don't allow as many as you can. But take that mercy rule when you can, or actually for some teams it might be smarter to score more runs. But remember, you have a time limit to watch out for. But yeah, 3-1 might be the cutoff. If you go 2-2, if you lose 1-0 or win 2-1 and you have lower scoring games, you might have a chance to make it, but it'll be tough.
Yeah. And also I know the people were talking about the wind was a factor last year, so I could see 3-1. There could be a lot of teams that go 3-1 that you might expect to go 4-0 just because the wind might take that one ball too far out, and then that one run gets scored that they either lose or tie a game that you're not expecting. I could see a few teams. I don't see as many teams, like you said, going 4-0. I see a lot of 3-1s. Just due to the field.
I'm just saying, as a bare minimum, I mean, 3-1 should get you in there. Obviously, 2-2, it would be a toss-up. 2-1-1, if you had a tie.
2-1-1 might actually get you in.
Yeah.
Again, like this is.
We've seen crazy things happen before, so yes, 2-1-1 could definitely get you there.
I mean, there's going to be from start to finish from 9 a.m. till I guess it ends at like 2:20 in the afternoon. You got to bring your A game. A lot of tournaments in the past couple years, folks usually say you lollygag through pool play, and then the real tournament starts. A lot of our events now, like it starts at 9 a.m. That's when you need to bring your A game. You can't rest your best pitchers the first hour anymore. You can't rest them the first 3 hours. For an event like this, everyone needs to be going full steam and be ready to roll. It'll be a lot of fun. There'll be a lot of competition this weekend. It'll be great.
A lot of great games.
Go ahead, Michaela. Sorry.
No, I was just going to say there's going to be a lot of great games, a lot of great matchups just in pool play, and then you get to elims, and depending on who gets out there, those are going to be great games. But pool play is going to have some really good matchups, I can see. But go ahead.
Who do you see, Matt, Michaela? Just obviously we have, I guess, somewhat limited knowledge because we haven't played as much, haven't seen as many teams in person. All we can kind of go off on is video and word of mouth and your rankings here. Who do you see as a potential sleeper? Say a 2 seed in a pool or a 3-4 in a pool doing better than expected that could kind of sneak in. Anybody got that kind of potential? That obviously they're really good, but their rankings might not suggest that in this event.
I think I'll take the first one, Michaela. So I'll go by pool. So there will be no max or cap or anything to that, but Relax and Lock It Up and JK are going to go back and forth with one another. The Juice Heads I don't think are one of those sleeper teams, so nothing out of Pool A. Pool B, Lights Out, thin lineup, solid pitching by Kyle, a.k.a. Andrew Luck. They're missing their captain or one of their captains, Jason McMullen, at Charger and in other various spots. He's a phenomenal kicker. That'll be tough missing him, but they brought in some really good recruits to back him up. ODB, if it's the ODB of the past, then definitely. And then Loose Cannons, anytime you see an availables team, you never know. So they might be a sleeper depending on what Lights Out performs, how they perform in ODB.
So we said Loose Cannons was comprised of possibly who?
I didn't look at Loose Cannons. Team with amazing talent's good. Loose Cannons is a lot of the Whiskey Richard guys in Arizona. They're good. Do not count them out by any means, folks in Pool B. If it's the team that I played with at events in Arizona with the package, some of those same guys, Again, I don't have the roster in front of me. They could be a sleeper, but again, in that pool with Lights Out and ODB, I don't think they could get out of there with a 2-2. I think the runs against might actually be detrimental to their tournament schedule. In Pool C, Sofa King good, team with amazing talent. Those two teams are probably going to beat up one another. It's going to suck to be the ref for that game. I already know it now.
I've seen a few of those spats online, yeah.
Yeah.
Temper tantrums with one of those teams, and the other team is just a collection of solid circuit kickballers that, they're there. There's less pressure. They're not wearing their colors or their team jerseys, so they're going to take a couple more risks. But you've got Tim and Brick and Chaz and guys that have won circuit events and won circuit championships. They're going to be a good team. Now, those are the only two teams in that pool that I will do anything. I have no idea who Grass Clowns are. No, Mixed Nuts, they're good. We'll Spot You 10, they're good. But those are the two teams right there, Sofa King and Team with Amazing Talent. And then Pool D, I have no idea about those guys. Yous guys, I've seen videos. I've watched you pitch, Brett, and I think, again, if you brought kickers and you got 16 folks and everyone brings their A game, you could be one of those sleepers.
I was just thinking that too.
Local for Fireball and Fresh, but I think it'd be, again, no offense to those guys, I just don't know who they are, and actually I probably could comment on them if you give me 2 seconds. You guys might be one of the sleepers, and before I say anything otherwise, Gargoyles will not play Loco, OSC will not play Fresh, and you won't play those guys. So since you're not playing the 3 seed, definitely take advantage of the schedule you got in front of you and try not to get blown out by anybody because run ratio will hurt.
Yeah.
I was just, you kind of said what I was going to say. Sorry, go ahead.
Ease up a little bit when you're trying to.
Oh, I'll tell my captain. I'll see what I can do. I was just going to say, looking at the teams, and I don't know enough about Gargoyles. I could see you possibly being, I'm never going to pick against my team. It's just not what I'm going to do. So I'm going to say we're going to get out of pool play fine. But I could see you guys coming in and doing well. Like you said, you have some talent coming, so I would have picked you guys as my sleeper, and then. Yeah, I just don't see anybody else unless people just implode in the other pools.
Yeah, and some of the folks who are traveling, I'll say one final thought, and then I'll add some clarity to just some of the rankings and some of the teams that we've been discussing because I just found my cheat sheet. Some of the teams traveling, I'll point out Lights Out, Gargoyles, even though they got 15, that's more than they had in South Florida. I think they showed up with like 10 or 11. Just because they have more numbers doesn't mean that they're bringing the actual team, the true talent. Like you guys are bringing a lot of folks that are not on the typical team, so hopefully they get the experience and can do well and catch the bug of the circuit events and want to come back for more. But here's a couple of just clarity points. JKI and Lights Out are technically both number 5 as far as the national rankings, but JKI gets the higher nod due to the higher winning percentage in 2014. Those guys, who we keep saying we don't know anything about, they're actually a refranchise effort by Screaming Kicks. So Screaming Kicks we knew last year. The roster is more than 75%, which is why they're basically taking the Screaming Kicks ranking. Screaming Kicks is a good team, but now they're going out of those guys. So that adds a little clarity to the teams we've been talking about. Mixed Nuts, on the other hand, so they're in Pool C, the 4th spot in Pool C, is although they're an established team, we look at every roster before every event, and what we found is their established team has shown up with less than 50% of last year's roster, so they did a lot of recruiting, they just got new names. And so they also added somebody from Legit, so they're not an open team because of that reason, but we are listing them as an availables team for this event. So after this, if they stay together, we'll be considering them a provisional team, and Mixed Nuts will be this new team.
Okay.
There. So and the last one, they were in bin 3.
Yeah, Mixed Nuts was in bin 3. Yeah.
Yeah.
And then my final point is Smoking Bunts. We keep talking about those guys. They're bin 3 in Pool A, so they're with JKI Relax, Gorilla Juice Heads, and Sexy Mama. Adrock, Sexy Mama. You can find out about it later. Sorry, he's chatting me while we're doing the show since he can't figure out how to get on. Smoking Bunts is a mixture of Mixed Nuts from 2013, a team we just talked about. It's also part of Revamped from the 2013 team, and Swift Kicking the Balls. So, like Mixed Nuts, if they keep this roster after this tournament, we'll consider them a provisional team. So that's who some of these teams are. Before every event, when we do the rankings, we do look at every roster. We've looked at all 10,000 plus players who have played in circuit events since 2010 to see where they've played, and that's how we kind of come up with the ranking system.
Cool.
Sounds very thorough. I like it.
Yeah, we do a good job. So, Brett, you guys are getting in. Let's talk about the event. You guys are getting in on Thursday?
We're going to leave early Thursday morning. We're hoping to catch brunch. Friday morning. Hoping to catch brunch or lunch somewhere in Austin, maybe take a nap and kind of go out on Friday night a little bit. And that's it. A couple people are coming in that afternoon, but most of us coming in the morning or the afternoon.
Very cool. And have you ever been to Austin?
One time, yeah. It's a great city. A lot of fun. 6th Street is something.
It's a lot of fun.
I've never been. I'm so excited. This is my first time going to Austin, and I can't wait.
It's gonna be a blast. I'll tell you that much. One thing I do want to point out. Let's see if I got it in front of me. If I don't, I apologize. I don't know where it went. Every player going to the event. You think I have enough of these damn little written?
I know. You should see the collection I have. I've kept every single one.
So wherever the Lone Star one is, I can't seem to find it. I just want to remind everybody, we've been posting it on Facebook and elsewhere. The wristbands you get, so this was from South Florida, right? Everyone wears the South Florida wristband. This is your ticket to the social venues. So please be sure to get this from the event manager Thursday if you're coming in for the bar crawl. You need these to get the drink specials. And that it'll help you just identify who's actually there for the tournament. And then you also then on Friday at the meet and greet, you can find folks, make sure you get them captains if you don't have a chance to get them Thursday night or Friday. Make sure you get them on Saturday because come Saturday, thanks Adrock. Come Saturday, this wristband gets you into the after party at Buffalo Billiards because there is a UFC fight that night and they're charging cover. But if you're wearing your wristband, you'll be good to go.
Sweet. Don't lose your wristband.
Never, never, never. So, Brett, I got to ask, how have you guys been preparing for this event? You played at an event before as a team. How are you guys preparing?
Preparation. We've been getting a couple practices in. We're in league right now. Most of the members on our team play in the Red Stick Area Kickball League. Most of them are in the competitive league. So they're obviously well seasoned. That they're playing right now. The major issue that we have in training, I guess, for 365 is we are a very kick-heavy league, I should say. There's not near as much bunting, or at least the kind of bunting that we do, it's definitely more of a sacrifice at the competitive league rather than something that can actually get you on base. So finding a lot of bunters generally is hard for us, so we actually have to schedule some practices using your rules to kind of get used to it. I've had to kind of source my catchers out from different areas just because that position's kind of irrelevant for us. So we kind of have some trouble with that. So just a lot of bunting and catcher work mostly is what we lack. Everything else, I feel like because of the way we play, we're at a much more, I guess we're at more of an advantage in that scenario. But
Brett,
we're catching at least one practice each week for the last couple of weeks.
That's good.
Very cool. Now, how are you guys preparing pitching-wise? Is it the same pitching as your local leagues, or what are you guys doing differently when it comes to
I guess the major, and I can speak from experience because I do pitch, the big issue for me, which generally doesn't become an issue because you play the field how it lies, you got to figure out how to pitch, you find your spot every time at a new place. But the biggest issue I have is we play a 3-bounce pitch, whereas 365 is a 2-bounce pitch.
3 bounce. Wow.
I think now is the typical time where I can hear DeMattis in the background going, "Go to 1 bounce."
1 bounce!
Many years ago, 1 bounce.
No, and I think the reasoning for that is we play on the diamond. The ground's a lot harder. The ball's gonna kind of skid a little more. It's gonna be able to get a little bit more speed. The grass doesn't slow it down as much. So when you play in the grass, it's 2 bounces more appropriate.
Very cool.
I mean, it's close. Our 3rd bounce can bounce on the plate, so it's not too terribly different
Okay.
in terms of that.
You had a question, Michaela?
No, I just said, okay, that makes sense. If it can bounce on the plate, the 3rd bounce.
The 3rd bounce can be on the plate, yeah.
And then
It's not a huge difference, but it's definitely a different motion. The biggest issue I had early on was switching from addressing the rubber and kind of pitching off of it like a pitcher, as opposed to running up to it and stopping because you can't cross that line. That's the biggest difference for me, not the bounces.
interesting.
That makes sense.
So it took some getting used to, but if you pitch, you figure it out. It's not a big deal.
Right.
I'd like to remind everybody who's watching this, we do have a question button on the screen. If you want to submit a question for these guys, by all means, hit the question button, hit submit, and we'll read it live on the show. Derek, what position do you play?
Anywhere that somebody gets hurt, I guess.
Right bench.
Right bench, and then they let me kick every now and again. So
Utility player.
yeah, I'm
Something like that.
I'm the hard luck case. They just bring me on. I'm basically a mascot. So
So you're going to be drinking on Friday night then?
yeah, probably a little bit.
Nice.
Coach says no, but what he doesn't see won't hurt him.
I got a couple of them I got to kind of keep tabs on. They're like the team dad, team mom. Let them do whatever they want on Saturday night, but it's tough keeping them from drinking on Friday.
Yeah.
There are a lot of team dads out there in the circuit. Team dads that are 23 who are telling teams, you gotta, stay somewhat sober. And then there's those teams that just get completely wasted the night before. I remember 2-3 years ago, I went to the New York Kickball Open, got to the fields at 6:30 to set up with the event managers, and found 2 players sleeping on the field in their gear. They left the bar, they changed, they asked cab to take them here. They got there like 4 o'clock in the morning, and they slept at the field because they thought they were going to miss the games.
Oh my gosh.
So,
Drunken logic would have served them well in that situation, because they probably would have missed had they not slept there.
Definitely did.
Same.
Well, guys, we're thrilled you're coming out to this event. I think Adrock's about to ask me a question. I'll pause for a couple seconds, see if he will. But we're thrilled you're coming to this event. Adrock
is going to ask you to show a picture of him without his shirt on.
I was waiting for a photo in the background behind you to be Adrock naked.
Or like on the phone.
Or him and Brick from many, many years ago. So you guys are going to Lone Star. What's your next event after Lone Star in Austin?
We're scheduled for JKO at the moment. I've actually had a couple of heavy hitters back out on me, so I'm kind of back to the drawing board a little bit.
Okay.
I think we'll pull through on that one. A couple of us are looking to kind of go play as availables or free agents in Kansas City. So if anybody needs somebody, call me up or find me. And then we're going to do Nashville. I should have as good a squad as I can put together for Nashville. That's our event that we're going to try to have our best team forward before San Antonio.
Well, hopefully you'll get some of the people coming to this tournament that'll be excited for JKO. Get the bug, you guys.
Absolutely. Are you guys going to JKO? Matt, you said you were going. Michaela?
I don't think so. I think they're still putting together on the schedule different tournaments that are going on. But I've never been. I would like to go, but I don't know. I think there's another tournament that we're trying to do that weekend. I can't keep them all straight. I don't have my planner.
Yeah, the lineup for that one is brutal. It's I feel like if we go, we're going to be sacrificial lambs to the gods of kickball. It's ridiculous. The teams that are in that one, it might as well be CCC.
Right.
Yeah, Jacksonville is definitely going to be. I think we're at 24 teams on Saturday. On Sunday, we've got 15 or 16 women's teams, so it'll be the second women's event of the year, which should be phenomenal.
That's awesome.
Really thrilled. That's why I wish OSC would choose to not go to a tournament in Connecticut. Although anybody going to that event, that should be a really good event. There's going to be talent up there. But yeah, there's JKO has phenomenal fields, phenomenal refs. The social scene and the after parties on Friday and Saturday, and now Sunday are just going to be great. And hopefully the weather holds up, and we'll have a great year.
Cool.
Yeah. Adrock has asked me to check my phone in the middle of the show because he sent a picture, and he wants us all to see it.
Just for y'all.
He is wearing a shirt.
Good old Adrock.
So he apologizes for being on the show, but he says, Bayou Ball Busters, I'm coming for you.
Tell him to come.
So.
I wish we.
And he hashtags selfie. That's what he does. What's that?
He's Relax and Lock It Up. Is that right?
Yeah.
He's one of the captains for Relax and Lock It Up. Lock It Up used to be a team out of New York City. Phenomenal team. Times got tough. People dropped off. People did other things. CrossFit. And they've joined forces with Relax down in Austin, Texas. But they're just really good friends. I think half of the Lock It Up team went to one of the Relax players' weddings. They're a really fun team. Definitely go out and meet them when you're down there this Saturday.
Definitely.
Well, very cool, guys. Well, we've got our pools. We've got our schedule of events. All players got an email telling them where to be, what to do. Party starts Thursday night. Friday night meet and greet. Saturday tournament starts at 9 a.m. You can check live scores at scoreboard365.com. We will do live streaming when it's available, and we'll have photos galore, and looking forward to crowning our next Lone Star Kickball Open champion.
These guys.
These guys. Those guys.
This girl.
Yeah, I hope it'd be nice.
These guys.
But, Michaela, thank you as always for being on the show.
Yeah, I'm ready. Here we go. Bring it on, Austin.
And then Brett and Derek, guys, thank you so much for being our guest tonight.
Thanks for having us, Matt.
Thanks.
Have a good evening.
Bye.